Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Nettie Owens. We're continuing the series of what businesses need to know right now. I've brought Jason Howell back. Our conversation, I believe, was so good, and there's a new aspect that we're going to be bringing into the discussion today. So welcome back, Jason. Thank you for being here.
Nettie. Thank you for having me again.
Yes, I'm excited. When we last talked about a month ago, I was like, this is good. We should definitely bring this on to share with others and to get some ideas and insights here. So just a little background on Jason. He is the owner of Jason Howell Company that leads Gen X families who have earned or saved more money than they ever expected to. He works with those particular families, and he provides socially responsible investing and proactive giving options so they can do something special with their money, which is amazing. Our money can be used for good, right? It's groceries and kids' activities, and then save the world.
And then save the world. I've always been hoping that by the time I'm a millionaire, I'm going to be this great philanthropist, and it's going to be terrific. And then I realized, inspired by 2020, that wait a second, I've got a bunch of families who are already investing a bunch of money. Maybe if I can learn about this thing called socially responsible, impact, green, whatever investing, maybe I can start changing the world now. And that's what 2020 gave me, an opportunity to think differently and empower all my families to take retirement money and start changing the world today.
That is so moving. Like I just getting just hearing you say that. And it was that part of our conversation a month ago that really motivated me to have you come and talk about this, because I think we do, both individually and in our businesses, we put off some of the good work that we could be doing till later, till we make it, till we have that certain dollar number, until the stars align. I'm not sure what, but the reality is, and the numbers reflect that the people who are less financially strong give the most. So the people who earn the least give the most. And I think that needs to be a framework, that if you are doing the responsible steps of providing for yourself and your family, and I shouldn't call them responsible, but if you're taking those steps and you're capable of providing for yourself and your family and your business, there's a line item there where you can be helping others as well. And so we've used a word now, socially responsive investing. What is that, and how is it different than your traditional
investing? It's a really old concept, and that's what many people don't realize, even people in my financial advisor community. This goes back at least as far as the Quakers and the 18th century, which I've recently learned this myself. Again, 2020 has been educational on a lot of levels. But I learned back then, Quakers decided that they weren't going to do business with slave owners in the South.
Oh, my goodness.
First local.
So I don't have a ton of historical information on this, but I also know that the Quakers had a different perspective on the Native Americans that were already living on this land. So yeah, some other, like, it's just amazing that. Okay, so we won't get into that. That's not for today, but amazing.
You dig
How is your dollar to impact
the world? Most people in the profession, especially in the public, may have heard of socially responsible investing, and it did begin as this negative screen. You know, these bad companies, we're going to take them out, just like the Quaker said. You're involved in the slave trade, you're out. Okay, and for a couple centuries, that was the way the game was played. Later on, there were these opportunities to say, go back to apartheid. All right, firms that are not supporting, what's going on in South Africa, they're out. And that's how, this country and the globe started really thinking 50 years ago about this concept. Very recently, there's been another level of this. So instead of just saying these are bad companies or these are good companies, let's look at data that is being requested voluntarily from firms to say, are you a going concern? The way we want to invest in any of these companies, are you doing the right kinds of things? Typically, you would just look at financials, but now companies are providing their governance information, their environmental impact information, their social information, how they deal with employees, which could create lawsuits later on, how they're dealing with cybersecurity. That's not financial data, but it's being asked for of firms. And there's this idea around ESG integration, not
All right.
even
You're
investing.
gonna have to explain that one.
Environmental, social, governance, integration. So you're not saying, this company is it's a gas company, so they're out. You're not doing negative screen. You're saying
Mhm.
this company is in the coal industry, typically on socially responsible. It would just be you're out. But instead of saying that, you're saying, well, for the coal industry, what should this firm be doing? Should they
Mhm.
be looking forward to other types of alternative energies? Are they? If they are, they get a good score, and maybe they're in
Mhm.
my portfolio. If there are, for example, Equifax, if they're a data collection company and they're actually pulling my information, what's their score on cybersecurity? Not in
Mm.
financial statements.
Right.
ESG integration, it is. And in fact, a year and a half before Equifax had their problem, they were marked as a firm that had a 0 out of 10 on cybersecurity. For the next year, that stock went up and up and up until it tanked.
Oh my gosh, I'm
Right?
shocked. I'm shocked. I'm going to fall over right here off my
All
chair.
over. And so the
Um,
reality is a lot of people, again, even within my profession, think this concept of socially responsible investing is just do-gooder stuff. And it's like, are you dumping in the river? Do you have a bad carbon footprint? Well, no one cared about that with Equifax, but the
mhm.
firms that look at something called ESG integration, so really looking at material effects for a particular company, they're saying, wow, you know what? It's kind of important that you have cybersecurity measures if you are a data collector. And sure enough, that stock went and tanked later on because they didn't have it. So if your advisor was advising you based on ESG, you might have seen that in a company like Equifax that you would have never been thinking about environmental stuff for. It's just
Right.
a much broader concept than it used to be known even 50 years ago. The past 10 years have said, let's take the data that's being collected and let's create this information and do better fundamental analysis than we've ever done before.
Well, and I think it opens up opportunities too, because you have not just the chance to invest in companies that are like-minded like you and help them grow and thrive, but you also get to take a company that perhaps didn't have the best track record in the past or is looking to change and
Yes.
support them to a positive change to let them know this kind of stuff is important to us. We want to see that you're contributing not just financially, but you're doing the right things that are going to make the world a better place. And that's not just, like you said, it's not just their green footprint. It's, what are they doing to protect us? What are they doing to help others? What are they doing for the environment? And all of that together. This is phenomenal. I would have never even known to look or ask for that ESG integration information. But it sounds like that's kind of the next wave in investing. So you've dropped another word here, and you didn't, not in our conversation, but in others, and that's proactive philanthropy. So can you define that one as well?
Well, I'd be surprised if anyone watching has not donated to something this year, whether you used to donate and give
In
before.
several instances, definitely.
Right. I mean, there's so many things that we say, oh, I'll donate to that. I'll donate to that. 2020 has been this miraculous year. On top of the fact that the IRS is giving us $300 above the line that we can donate, so you don't have to itemize your taxes to show $300 of donations. So if you
Okay.
haven't donated to something, know that you can, even if you don't itemize. But generally, there is this concept that I think we've all been sort of feeling around. I'd love to do more. And
Mm-hmm.
how can we do more? What we're doing with our clients now is saying, all right, we figured out your retirement plan and we see that you're going to have a couple $1 million left over at the end of life. Besides maybe passing that to your children, is there anything that you want to do with those resources? What do you care about? And would you rather do it during your life versus the end of your life?
Right.
And by the way, in case you're a newer family, you're just getting things going, philanthropy doesn't have to begin at the 7-figure level. You can
Mm-hmm.
be very intentional, working with community foundations, working with your university, and really look at as little as, even donor advised funds for as little as $5,000. And then
Okay.
this $5,000 bucket, where do I want to distribute this across a number of different nonprofit
Mm-hmm.
organizations? Again, this is not millionaire talk necessarily. This
No,
is
I mean, that's like a yearly bonus that you could decide this year I'm supporting, this investment, which that's doable.
Yeah,
That's
so if
doable.
you've been inspired by 2020 as my firm has been, as I have been personally, we switched to this area of investing so that people can do good while doing well. And we also
Mm-hmm.
switched the focus to say, if we are going to be people that are donating to things, as we kind of do sporadically, your friend is raising money on Facebook because it's their birthday, maybe let's step back and let's say, what are the causes that I do care about, that I do want to support? How can I do that on a consistent basis, which the nonprofit associations appreciate, at whatever amount you can do it and make it part of your budget, part of your life?
Amazing. So if you would like to reach out to Jason, he's got the link below to schedule a time to talk about the things we've talked about here, how that might impact you and your business. It might be an opportunity to align your business and your business investments with the things that are important to you or the industries that you would like to see grow. I love this statement. It's your tagline, right? Do good while doing well.
Well, I think it's a couple firms' taglines that are in that business.
Okay. All right. Darn. I was like,
yeah.
oh, that's it. You just
It's a
nailed
good
it.
phrase to use. I mean, I like to say do something special with your money. I'd like to say make your money matter. There are a lot of ways to put it, but if you're already investing, the key takeaway is you don't have to wait until you're 65, 70 years old to liquidate and then go do some great stuff. You can do that while you're investing. You can purpose your investments to point towards great things that need to be done that maybe our government isn't doing, but corporations often lead. You can now encourage those corporations to do the right thing with the way you invest, just like you would do that with the way you buy. It's a new day.
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming and sharing this. It's been just as informative as our last conversation. I always learn something new, and I am inspired. I think this is great information to have. Thank you. I'm glad you came on.